So traders, in today's session, I'm going to be looking at the entire mining sector when it comes to the Australian mining stocks, the actual mining indexes from the US market, also the actual mining stocks in America, and why it's so important not to put a blatant statement across all markets because they're all doing something different, and how to actually apply that analysis from there. We're going to look at gold, going to look at silver. I think silver's getting ready to have a really big bottom out here soon, and I think silver's actually probably going to get a bit of a slingshot pattern happening here when it comes to that. And also I want to give you an update across when it comes to the actual stock market itself, and sort of how to actually apply some simple analysis from there to get a really good understanding about what's actually going on with the indices, and why the Russell and the Dow Jones are doing something completely different, which is giving us a completely different opportunity compared to the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So traders, let's get straight into today's update. Before I start, guys, I have a free trading gift for you. If you go to johnsfreegift.com, you can see exactly what that is. Now, I want to start off with today with the mining sector, because this is something that I'm noticing across the board when I talk to a lot of people on the phone. As you know, I have an application process opening right now for my coaching program, and you can apply for that, link in the description there. But the thing is that as I'm talking to people here, one thing that I'm seeing a lot of people, one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people are making right now across the board when it comes to just the trading in general, two main things I'm noticing. Firstly, people say, I don't like this market. I don't like crypto. I don't like this market. I don't like Forex. And so one thing I really want to start off with this video here, this update for you to get ready for the week, is I'm not a judgment across any markets. For me personally, you can see this is my trading view here. I also use TC2000 because with my TC2000, it allows me to scan for my trading setup, and it's an amazing for the actual US stock market, right? But I also look at gold, silver, oil. I look at some of the actual individual stocks. I'm looking at a bunch of Forex pairs as well too. I'm looking at some of the cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the one thing that's so important to understand is that the way that I personally trade myself, I use a system that is just based on how markets operate, how markets work. Again, if you go to johnsfreegift.com, you'll be able to see the exact system I use. The link in the description there. By the way, guys, johnsflash.com, there should be a link in the description. I'm running a 90% off the Master Trader Lab. So if you want to get access to the complete Master Trader Lab for 90% off, you can get access to that as well too. So, but the thing is that looking at the markets is that I don't have a bias. I don't have a judgment across any market, right? So if I look at, say, if I look at gold right now, okay, so let's actually bring up gold. If I bring up gold, I'm not saying, oh, I don't like gold, because gold is this and gold is that and right? If I bring up gold, what about if I bring up oil? Well, I don't, and I don't have a view on oil at all. Like, to me, I'm not a judgment across any market. I like to make money, and I'm looking for opportunities. So if I see some of the Forex pairs, right? So for example, what some of the big Forex pairs is, say for example, the AUD USD. Well, the thing is that because my system is universal based, the way that I personally trade is universal based across all markets. I'm using the same set of techniques and the same system across all markets. I don't have a Forex trading system or a stock trading system or an option trading system. I have a universal based principle, a universal based system, because it's how the markets really operate on a deepest level. And then I start to overlay. So if I look at a stock on the US stock market, well, then I identify the trade. I could then just buy that. I could then use options over that. You see what I'm saying here? And so, but then also, I personally, but then also I could use, say, Forex market. So I want to start off with this, is that I want you to not be so judgment across all markets, right? Because if you're, I guess I could also understand, right, too, because if if you've been coming into this world of trading, you think, oh, well, there's a stock trading system, there's an option trading system, there's a forex trading system, right? You have these systems. By the way, that's total BS. Okay, total BS. And if you believe that, or you've been told that, it's a lie, right? Because the same machines, the same humans, the same big boys that trade the foreign exchange, trade the stocks, trade bonds, they trade all these markets. So they make the same type of patterns. They have uptrends, downtrends. Make sense? So, and I'm trying to tell you this here because there's amazing opportunity that's going to come across your plate. It might be in the crypto market. It might be the foreign exchange markets. It might be on an individual stock in the market. And so therefore, guess what? Therefore, as you're trading the markets, try not to have a judgment around anything, right? Because for me, if AUD USD or the euro USD, as you can see, I keep an eye on these as well too. But I'm using the same system, whether it's the exact same setup I'm looking for on an individual stock on the US stock market is the exact same system I look for on the Forex market, on the crypto market. It's the exact same techniques, right? So try not to have a judgment of I don't like. Me, I don't have a judgment across any market. If my system presents itself, well, I am going to trade it because I like to make money. So therefore, makes sense? So I see a lot of people having a judgment across all these markets from here. So I want to start off with that there. Now, the next thing I want to start off with is a lot of people of the mining sector. So let's get into the mining sector now. And I want to go to let me actually start off here with I'll start off with the weekly charts here. And this is let's actually go to the GDX. Okay, so let's start off with the GDX. And one thing I really want to encourage you, let me actually just take all these trend lines off the screen here. And let's just remove the moving average. So I'm going to look at the GDX here for a minute. Okay, so this is the GDX, as you can see, since basically 2000, we've had 2016. Not really much going on here with the GDX here, right? US stock market. One of the big mistakes that I'm seeing a lot of people make is they have a blatant statement. The mining sector is. Well, not necessarily, right? Because the GDX is, okay? What about the SIL? Okay? The SIL is what? So as you can see, if we look at this, the SIL has a slight different pattern, right? So and this is what you want to do. Whenever you're looking at these markets, you want to say, okay, this particular market is, right? So, because if we have a look at this here, if I look at that, this is the SIL is doing something different, right, to the GDX. But then if we go to, say, the gold, say Barrick Gold, okay? Or actually the actual gold market. As you can see, the actual gold market is actually doing something different, as in like the trend, the patterns on this particular gold chart is so much different than what? The GDX, right? The GDX is so much different. So firstly, don't say, it's important not to say, well, gold's doing this, so therefore gold mining stocks is doing this, right? Now you're going down a massive rabbit hole. You say, gold's doing this, so therefore the gold mining stocks is going to do this, so therefore I'm going to go buy NEM, as an example. But if you look at NEM, what's NEM been doing really since basically the COVID boom? Right, we've been in a big downward trend, right? This looks nothing like gold. So one of the big mistakes I'm seeing a lot of people make is they have a blatant statement. But then also, and this is where like it's so important to have really awesome but simple techniques when looking at these markets, because we want to make a good decision based off that market itself, right? And so the big thing is that if you have a look at the mining sector here, right? So this is, say, NEM, which is one of the big stocks in America. If we have a look at, say, Barrick Gold, right? So in the actual Barrick Gold, you can see what Barrick Gold's been doing. Really, it's been in this overall sort of downward trending phase, and you can see what happened just recently. Like, we rejected it there. So we may be getting ready for a breakout, all right? So these are some of the big stocks in America, right? But one thing that I was doing with my coaching clients last week is I was looking at the markets, and so this is what I'm doing. But if I go to the Australian market, right? Come to my land, right? The Australian market. What is the Australian market doing? Well, if I go to some of the really big stocks here in Australia, right? And I look at the Australian mining sector, we are very, very, very mining centric. If I look at the mining sector, what is that doing? right? What is that doing? The mining sector since 2016 has been a very big, strong upward trend. This big stock here, which is BHP, which is one of our really big mining companies here in Australia, and also Rio Tinto. Rio Tinto on the ASX. What have both of these what has this clearly been doing? We've been clearly in a big upward trend. You see what I'm saying here? So the purpose of me starting off with this section through here is the first thing I wanted to start off with is that don't not look at other markets because you don't. I don't like that market. I don't like crypto market. Well, I like to look for the pattern that makes me money. I don't care if that's so you know what I'm saying there, right? And then what we want to do is we don't want to have a bias say that the mining sector is, and then we have a blanket statement. Because right now the mining sector is pretty flat to actually being down for quite some time in the American market. But if you go to some of the big dogs, the big top dogs in Australia, well then guess what? The big top dogs in Australia when it comes to the mining sector is what? We're now seeing that these things have been in a very big, strong upward trend, and possibly even starting to form, maybe like a bit of a triangle pattern. Like this could be forming a really big, massive triangle pattern. And so therefore, again, this is a weekly chart here, right? This is a weekly chart. So this could be this big, which is one of our big top dogs. And as you can see, in fact, look at this here. Rio Tinto in Australia it's at its highs for here. If I go to BHP here in Australia, look at this here. What is this? We are what? We are right at the highs here, right? And we have this through here, right? Through there. We have that through there. Look where we are right now. We're at the highest. But see, that's Australia, right? But if I go to, say, GDX, let's just bring up the GDX. Okay, so the GDX. What's happening here? Let me bring this up. Let me squeeze this up here. What's happening? We're nowhere near the highs, right? Nowhere near the highs back here of the all-time highs. We're actually still down here, been doing nothing. What about Barrick Gold? Let's actually bring up Barrick Gold here for a minute. So Barrick Gold. Let me zoom it in. What's Barrick Gold? Barrick Gold is actually almost at its lows. So the purpose of me telling you this here is, as you can see, like, I think a lot of people, they have this like, oh, the mining sector boom. Well, there's individual markets within the mining sector, right? So we're seeing the GDX, and I'm trying to share with you that what we want to do is we don't want to say the mining sector is, and we have a blatant statement across there. And so, because what we want to do is we want to see what the market is actually doing. Because as you saw just there, is that this is the Barrick Gold, but what about the GDXJ, right? Which is the junior miner stocks. What is that doing? Oh, well, if I'm looking at that here, we've actually just recently broken out a big massive triangle pattern, and we've just broken out here. But what is the mining sector? Well, right, the overall mining sector, especially the junior miner stocks, is what? Pretty flat. So is the GDX. So the purpose of me telling you this here, guys, is that we want to say, okay, then, if I'm looking at we want to have an analysis of a simple analysis, right? Which I do teach you there, right? I teach you for free at johnsfreegift.com, or if you want to get a full detailed training, then just go to John's Flash Sale. You can grab a 90% off to the Master Trader Lab, which is a complete, foundations, chart reading, trading systems, mindset, all that sort of stuff. Like, I think there's like 4 or 5 trading systems in there. So just to get the help you need, right? But we need to understand that there's so many opportunities currently, but every single market is doing something different, right? So yeah, maybe we are going to go through a massive mining boom, but they're all doing something different, right? So the Australian market is at there right now. So try not to have a blatant statement across the markets. And just try to use, okay, I'm going to buy this particular stock because it's really setting up quite nicely, and so on and so forth, right? And so also, and I think that's when I'm seeing a lot of people make that mistake here. Yes, I do believe we're going to go through an incredible mining boom. I really do believe that, but individual stocks are going to do much better, right? So if I'm looking across the board to invest in the mining sector, the first thing for me would be I'd like to, I think the GDXJ is going to be one of those really big movers. But I honestly believe, guys, in the recession that is coming, it's going to crush the mining sector and gold, silver, and the stock market. It's going to crush this. But that there is probably going to happen next year. right? Maybe next year. So so I do believe that. Now, on the back of what I just said there, let's actually then go to on the back of what I just said there, let's actually go to and have an actual short-term TA on the mining sector. Short-term TA on the mining sector is making low, higher lows, and higher lows. So we're making very strong upward trend through here, right? Very, very, very strong upward trend. So that's the GDXJ through there. If we go look at gold, what's gold been doing? Right? Actually, gold is this is ground control. Let me just remove all the drawings off. So right now, gold right now is basing out, but we just made a higher high. If this is a higher low, if gold holds here and we start to break up above this previous highs, that's now starting a new trend, right? Starting a new trend. We have this sideways phase through here. So a bit of a channel, higher high. If this is a higher low, we start to break up through there, then I do see gold probably having another really big move and possibly even seeing the 3,000 through there. If we go have a look at silver, right? Silver has had a really big flush down. Now, what we want to see for you guys that actually want to get into silver, or you are long silver, what you want to see to have this more like a bit of a powerful pattern is you want to see this thing hold from here. All right, you want to see this thing hold and come back up through here, and then come back up and then continue. Because then I do believe we're going to probably get some, I do believe we're likely to get something like that. That's what I do believe. And the reason why is because if I look at my weekly charts, this is my weekly chart through here. And let me bring on my moving average. You can see how my moving average, which is my trend indicator, basically. By the way, traders, my system just uses one moving average, but as you can tell. So I do believe, because this moving average is coming straight up, I do believe this is probably going to be a really good buying point for silver. But there's no guarantees yet. To get a bit more probability, I'd want to see that pattern. Let's actually start that bit of a slingshot pattern across the markets from there. Make sense? So also, on the back of, or on the theme of what we're talking about here in today's update, we want to use that theme of the stock market is, right? No, the asset, because right now there's lots of different markets. So for example, the Russell market is, and then you apply the analysis, right? I believe the Russell right now is just breaking out. Well, I don't believe it actually is, right? It is just breaking out. And so therefore, this breakout with the Russell, I believe the Russell is now playing catch up, and we're likely to see an incredible bull market out of this one here. And I see possibly coming up to 3,000 on Russell. I do see that. Now, if you understand, I say that not because I think, but just because understanding simple terminology of the way that these markets work, right? And again, I'm not going to go too much into detail here because my update's getting too long for you already. But I'm trying to share with you is that the Russell is, and then we go to the Nasdaq. Oh, the Nasdaq is, right? See what I'm saying? Because the Nasdaq has been doing something completely different to the Russell. So we can't, it's so important not to have a blatant statement across the entire market from here to say the stock market is, right? Because what is that? What is that, right? They say the stock market is. No, the Russell is, the Nasdaq is, and then we look at the Dow. Because I look at the Nasdaq itself could be indeed getting ready for maybe just a bit more sideways move, because we've been in a very strong upward trend, same as the S&P 500, right? Very strong upward trend. So low, higher low, higher low. We could be getting ready for an upward move, but this thing's been going on for quite some time that we could be getting ready for just maybe a bit of a pause here for a while. You know, maybe for a bit of a month. We've had such a big up move, but that's the Nasdaq and the S&P. The Russell, as I said before, the Russell has just broken out. So the Russell, to me, looking at this level through here, and we're just breaking out through here, the Russell has so much more upside to go. And same for the Dow Jones, right? Look at the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is what? The Dow Jones has just broken out through here, and then we've just been going sideways, and now we're holding through here. So the Dow Jones is now also playing catch up as well too. But compared to all the other markets, like if I squeeze my charts up, actually let's bring up this chart through here. If I squeeze my charts up, you see you'll see what did the Dow Jones do? The Dow Jones did what? Break through there, breakthrough there, right? So we had this sideways movement, and now the Dow Jones is just breaking out through here. But if we look at the S&P 500, as you can tell, the S&P 500, it's been breaking out, and we've been going through a very strong upward leg. So I'm not saying that the S&P doesn't have upside movement, but we want to apply our analysis to what that market is doing, because do you know, even though there's a very bullish sentiment across the indexes, there's actually a bunch of stocks on my watch list that I'm watching right now that look like they're about to get absolutely crushed on the downside. And I'm looking for an opportunity to go short these stocks. So, and because it's just my system, right? It's very, 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 very simple from there. So I wanted to share this with you guys to go across. This is what I wanted to share with you to start your week off with today. And the reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes our bias and our judgments across these markets of like, I don't like this market. Well, I like to make money. Okay. But on the back of what I just said there, if you do believe that there is a Forex trading system or a stock trading system or a commodities trading system, then you've been led a whole bunch of BS, right? Whole bunch of BS. Because all markets operate the same way. And the way that I personally trade and the way that I personally look for my trading setup works on 5-minute charts on the futures, say on the Russell or the S&P 500 futures, right? Through there, and then we also so on that there, but then it also works on the foreign exchange markets, and then it works on all these other markets from there. So there we go, traders. There's a bit of an update for you today, guys. Once again, if you do need some extra help, guys, and you would like to apply for my coaching program, you can do that with the links in the description. See you guys.